Hey guys, let's talk about possible and potential Rookie of the Year candidates for the Green Bay Packers. This is the Out of Breath Arm Store Packer Minute, the show where I walk around the neighborhood talking about the Packers, and you watch to see if I get carried over the rainbow by a tornado, which is getting more and more likely as it is lunch hour right now. And rush hour, it seems. Everybody's coming back or going to lunch right now, so this could get crazy interesting and lots of semis coming through. However, my live feed barfed out on me, so I wanted to make sure and record an out-of-breath Arm Store Packer Minute for you and talk about this situation and this question. Who are the best Rookie of the Year candidates? And I know you guys have a lot of comments you want to make. Go ahead and make those in the comment section below. And in the meantime, I am going to go ahead and give you about my top three. Heck, we may end up talking about a half a dozen of these guys by the time all's said and done. Packers with 10 draft picks this year. More and more rookies coming on. Obviously, undrafted rookies as well in the mix. However, I think this is going to be a lower year for undrafted rookies to make the roster. And with that said, who do I think is not only going to make the roster, but also has a chance at Rookie of the Year? And my number one, I know, and I mentioned this in the little partial live segment I was able to record, I mentioned that kind of the obvious one out of the gate. It makes you think about Kevin King, just in the fact that if he can show his ability, this guy's got all the physical. 6'3", 200 pounds, 4.4 speed. He's got this sort of Richard Sherman-esque body, and he's at a position of need for the Packers. Packers with a really rough year last year in terms of cornerback play, which I think, for the most part, stemmed from the injury situation. And so, number one, King coming in gives you depth, but King did not get drafted number one pick of the second round just for depth, especially not with his height. This is a 6'3" corner, guys. And so I expect him to be on the field early and often. The question with me as far as King and Rookie of the Year is, number one, how quickly can he develop? It's a premium position, but it's also a very difficult position to play extremely well at a high level all the time. And usually rookies have take their lumps, their rookie year. And so we'll see what Kevin King can do, but I expect that might make it a little less likely for him as Rookie of the Year. At the same time, Kevin King has yet to really get to be working out with the team. He had to miss OTAs, and he got to minicamp, but really, from what we're hearing, he mostly just ran drills with Joe Witt Jr. They were making sure he got up to speed. Now, of course, training camp is exactly a month away. Today is the 27th, so we will see how he develops there. And we've got the preseason, 4 games in the preseason to look forward to as well. But I do expect that if I was going to pick one guy that I thought really had the best chance right now, I think I would be leaning toward Josh Jones, safety, who has been shacking up with the linebackers in the locker room. 220-pound safety, hard-hitting safety, 4.4 speed just like King, 6'1" and 5/8, plenty of height, plenty of length, pass deflection radius that's off the charts, but with that speed and that size, he also brings the possibility of bumping up into the box, playing that hybrid inside linebacker sort of position that has become popular for a reason now. I think Dalen Buchanan's sort of the paradigm for this now, but I don't think it's a passing fancy. And I do think Josh Jones, who has been to all the OTAs and was right on pace at mini camps, I think he has an excellent chance to get on the field early, depending on how he comes on in training camp, and have a chance to get a lot of reps. And I think he's going to get a lot of, not just reps, but a lot of different looks. The Packers coaching staff has said that, these preseason games, they throw these little young players into a lot of different situations and see how they progress, see how they respond, see how they perform. Josh Jones, I think we're going to see him at inside linebacker. I think we may see him at cornerback, for crying out loud, which is not something that I really want to see him have to develop. But at safety, of course, and at the safety position and the inside linebacker position in particular. Remember, this is a team that lost Micah Hyde, who was kind of the Swiss Army knife of the defensive backfield. And if Josh Jones can come in and play safety, maybe in a big nickel package with 3 safety package, but also shows some potential in that hybrid inside linebacker role, I mean, this guy's going to see playing time. Remember, Joe Thomas was our nickel inside linebacker last year, and we were having to kick Clay Matthews inside a lot. If Josh Jones shows that he can rush the passer from that position, we know he can cover tight ends out of the backfield from that position. So it will be very, very interesting to see how Josh Jones responds to the different lineups and different matchups that the Packers coaching staff throws him into in the preseason, which is one of the reasons I'm very excited for preseason football to roll around this year, more so than many years. But I do think, if I was going to pick one, I think in terms of just probability, I think Jones is going to get on the field a lot. Of course, it all depends. It's too early to say. We've got to see how these guys develop. But I do think Jones has the best chance. Now, there's a couple other ones. I do think Montravius Adams is one that a lot of people in Packer Nation would be pulling for and think has a lot of potential. I don't see Montravius Adams as a potential Rookie of the Year candidate, partly because I just don't see him getting as many reps. That's the main thing. I expect, we brought in Ricky Jean-Francois. We've got Kenny Clark, the second-year player, who is expected to take a leap. We have been moving Dean Lowry further out, but he also came on strong and will be a second-year player this year. Add to that the obvious, Mike Daniels. So he will be a rotational player, and I think he's going to play well. I think he's going to get some reps. But in terms of any kind of player accolades, I would expect Montravius Adams would have a little bit of an uphill battle. Finally, I think it is important to mention, and it might be important to mention these couple of rookie wide receivers we're bringing in too. But I think the rookie running backs that we brought in have another opportunity to really show themselves, partly because we are looking for a solid backup. We've got our fullback, Aaron Ripkowski. We've got our starting running back, Ty Montgomery. But after that, this competition and this battle at the second running back spot means that somebody's going to get a ton of reps. And that, to me, says there is potential. If, say, Jamal Williams truly comes on in December and helps us in a playoff run, somewhat similar to the way James Starks did back in 2010, these guys could get, one of these guys, I'm not even saying which one, if it's necessarily Williams, but one of these guys could get some consideration. It's really, really interesting to me. So again, all this is up for debate, up for discussion, and of course, we will see when training camp rolls around, it will all start to unfold in front of us, which I think is just going to be a blast. It's exactly a month away, guys. 27th of July, they will be headed over from St. Norbert's to Packer training camp. It's not that far away. So I hope you enjoyed this version or episode of the Out of Breath Armsore Packer Minute. I am going to close up shop and head to the grocery store. Guys, get out, take a walk. It's a beautiful summer, and it'll help the off season go by. I will talk to you again probably tomorrow. Start doing this on a daily basis. We'll see how the live works out. It didn't do too well today. But one way or the other, we will be talking about the Packers. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon. Go Pack.